Hawk's recovery, the girl's main concern. Hawk did not sleep peacefully. He kept murmuring in his sleep, sweating from the anxiety and terror of his dreams. Sarah filled a deep plate with clean water and wiped his forehead with a fresh cloth. After a while, he seemed more at ease, so Sarah went down to the kitchen to heat some water for her tea. Then she headed to Zanina's and Eva's room and knocked on their door. There was no response, so she opened it and walked steadily towards Zanina's bed, gently nudging her. She then whispered so as not to wake Eva. Zanina. Hearing her mother's voice, Zanina woke up immediately. "What's wrong? Is father all right?" "He's fine. It's almost 6 o'clock, and I thought I'd take the carriage into town to run some errands." "Okay, wait a moment so I can get up and say goodbye." But before she could get out of bed, Sarah held her back gently. "There's no need, sweetheart, but I do have a favor to ask. Your father shouldn't be left alone. If he wakes up, he might panic. He needs a little attention until I return. Could you stay with him?" "Of course, I'll go right away." Zanina agreed without hesitation, gave her mother a quick hug, and got out of bed. "Zanina," her mother whispered again. Zanina turned to look at her. "Do you remember the green leaves Leonte gave us?" "Yes, I remember," Zanina answered without hesitation. Sarah continued, "I need you to take a few of those leaves and prepare an infusion for your father. It might help him rest more easily," Sarah instructed. Zanina agreed, but couldn't help asking something that had been on her mind. "Don't worry, Mother, but why are you leaving so early?" "Trust me," Sarah said in a calm tone. Zanina disliked the word trust because too many people used it without meaning it. Still, she did not argue with her mother. "I do trust you, but promise me you'll return as soon as possible." "Don't worry, Zanina. I won't stay away any longer than necessary." "Thank you, my dear. I'll be back soon." Sarah gave her a grateful smile, kissed her forehead, and left the room, walking down the stairs. Zanina watched her mother go before heading to her father's room to check on his condition. Then, without hesitation, she got to work, determined to care for him as best she could. She hesitated for a moment before opening her father's door and stepping toward his bed. He was sleeping peacefully, and she noticed that his head wound had stopped bleeding. The sight filled her with relief, and she decided to kneel beside him to thank God for bringing him home safely. She also prayed for his full recovery and for his memory to return. "My Lord, take away the hatred we feel for wicked people and forgive them." She could not finish her prayer as sleep overtook her. Hours later, she woke to the sound of a voice calling her name. "Zanina? Zanina? Can't you hear me?" Zanina opened her eyes. Noticing that her father was still asleep, she looked around in confusion. "What happened? Who is it?" "It's Eva, your sister. Who else would it be?" "Eva, what's wrong? Why are you awake? It's still too early." "You think it's early, but it's not. What time is it?" Zanina glanced at the clock on her father's desk and noticed it was 1 in the afternoon. 1 o'clock. "Eva, why didn't you wake me up earlier? I told Mother to wake me when she returns from." "Mother left again and won't be back," Eva interrupted. Zanina struggled to get up, as she had been cramped beside her father in a tight bed, and began to explain to Eva where their mother had gone. "Don't worry, Eva. Mother woke me up this morning because she wanted to go to the town. But one of us had to stay and look after Father, so she chose me. I was scared, Zanina, that Mother left us again." Zanina's embrace seemed to answer all of Eva's questions, but it raised others with the unexpected voice of Hawk, who had just woken up. "Why are you arguing again?" The girls exchanged glances and approached their father to hug him. "Father, are you okay? Did you sleep well?" They both asked. "Of course. I slept well and I'm perfectly fine. Why wouldn't I be?" Zanina, curious to know if her prayers had been heard, asked, "Father, do you recognize us?" "Of course I do, Zanina, my child. What kind of question is that?" "My prayers have been heard, Father. "You're all right. Thank you, God." "Zanina, I expect discipline in this house, and I demand to know why my head is wrapped in this disgusting cloth." "Because." "Eva, let's fetch fresh water from the well so Father can wash and get dressed. Later, we'll bathe too and prepare breakfast for all of us." Hawk looked at the clock on his desk and asked, "What time is it? Am I seeing this correctly? It's already 1:30 in the afternoon. I need to leave. I'm late and I must hurry." "I'm sure they'll be looking for me at the barracks and..." He immediately tried to stand up but felt an unexpected pain in his head. However, he didn't give up and tried again to stand, but his legs couldn't bear his weight and he collapsed. The girls hesitated to stop him, watching his persistent efforts, but when he fell, they quickly helped him back into bed. "Where's your mother, Erica? Why didn't she rush to help me?" It was clear that Hawk's memory had returned to some extent, and the young ladies were once again faced with an unexpected dilemma. Should they tell him the whole truth, or pretend the events of the last few days never happened? Mother left for a little while. As for Erica, Zanina didn't know what to say should she hide the truth about Erica and the kidnapping. She considered revealing only some information to avoid bringing back the painful memories. Maybe he won't remember his relationship with Erica, but he'll remember that he has a good relationship with Mother. "I'd do anything to keep the bad memories from returning to Father's mind, even if it risks my relationship with him. But there's also the issue that Father can no longer return to the Royal Army after his unlawful actions, and if he did, he might remember his old life or worse, be arrested." Zanina thought and decided she would do whatever it took to ensure her father lived happily and forgot the past and the unpleasant experiences. Hawk interrupted her thoughts. "Zanina, why aren't you speaking? What happened to Erica?" Hawk was waiting for an answer from Zanina, but it was Eva who finally spoke up. Erica left. She grew bored of the island and returned to England to live with her son, who is studying there. Her last wish was for us to tell you that she will never come back to the island, and... Zanina nudged Eva and gave her an intense look to see if she understood what she was saying. Eva reassured her with a positive nod, shaking her head affirmatively and smiling at their father. Eva's smile didn't stop Hawk from commenting on her words. "I didn't know Erica had a son." When Eva heard her father's comment, she bit her lip, realizing that Erica had never mentioned Joshua to him. Confused thoughts flooded Zanina and Eva's minds, but before they could put an end to their father's questions, he continued. "She never told me anything about that. And his father, where is he now? Is he still alive?" Zanina felt somewhat relieved by her father's last comment, but she had no intention of continuing the conversation at that moment. She would make the appropriate decisions later, depending on his further behavior.